What's up, everyone? So today we are finally working on the Ram. Got her out of the garage. She's out of storage. Pretty pumped. So first things first, we're going to be doing brakes on this video. And then our next video, we actually got some fresh rubber right there we're going to toss on. Same tires. These ones worked awesome. So definitely look for that video. But today we are messing with, we had ordered up our first ever order of Powerstop brakes. And I had never ordered this stuff before. I always wanted to. And we were looking for new brakes for this truck because we do a lot of towing and all that. And we wanted to upgrade. We looked at a lot of other brands, and I'm sure you'll be tempted too. Detroit Steel, I believe it's called. You know, they make drill slotted calipers too that are way cheaper. Probably almost, you know, half the price of what we paid here. And unfortunately, you know, for our truck here, I mean, we rely on this thing to make, you know, 3-hour plus trips, you know, towing our trailers and all that. And the last thing I want to do is put my faith in, you know, a cheap caliper or a cheap brake pad. Not saying it might not work or it might do the same job, but I'll tell you what, Powerstop definitely comes with all the goods. I mean, we're gonna open up these boxes here real quick and show you guys the calipers. I mean, sorry, the rotors. And we got fresh pads, and man, they even give, you know, freaking new rubbers and all that, you know, for our sleeves. So I'm pretty pumped about that. It's got a great break-in process, and they're all about the business on this. Like, it's for your performance for sure. So let's go get a blade so we can open up one of those boxes, and then we'll see what's happening in there. Just to let you guys know, it is allergy season for me, and it's gonna be getting me in these next couple of videos. So here's our box. Open this bad boy up. Woo! Oh, oop, dug in a little deep on that side. All right, so this, don't know if it's a front or rear. I believe they will label and tell us. Yep, front driver's side here. So the good thing about these two, they're not supposed to rust like your typical calipers, which you know is frustrating. You spend money on caliper, or gosh dang it, on rotors. Get this right, on these rotors. And you know, they rust real quick, and that's, you know, it's a real shame. So these are not supposed to do that. They're supposed to have the type of ceramic coating or whatever, and they're supposed to be good. So whew. Yeah, all business there. Pretty pumped about that. Let's check out these pads real quick. Stickers are always good. I mean, I honestly probably wouldn't even, you know, that's what you pay the extra money for. You get stickers. Oop, there goes our box. So here's a cool break-in process they show right here. So it's important, this is a break-in process. You're gonna do 5 aggressive stops, being 40 to 10 miles an hour. Looks like, says pretty aggressive, so. Then you're gonna do 5 moderate stops, which I guess would be your average stop. And then you're gonna just drive around for 5 minutes and let those puppies cool down. So, they know what they're doing here. Got your lubricant for your slides, which I'm pretty pumped about because I thought I was gonna have to go buy some more. Hardware, stainless steel. And look at these pads. Like, I mean, I know they put extreme on the side so I know what was happening, but they didn't have to because I could tell what's happening here. It's looking good. So they got a good even little installation guide for you here, you know, which is pretty nice, you know, for some people that might just need a little help along the way. Nothing wrong with that. So heck, we might even read them, you know, just out of kicks and giggles if it, you know, updates us on maybe not. Maybe we already know what's happening. That's okay. That's good for, you know, whoever, you know, that wants to read that stuff. But yeah, I'm really pumped. You know, only thing I wish it, I guess now, not to be greedy, but it would have came with some new slides. I mean, or some new pins. That would have been even cooler. But no big deal. No big deal. It's cool it came with that. Only thing we're lacking is some brake clean, which I believe we got a little bit, but we'll probably have to go out and grab a can before we actually finish this whole project. But let's get these wheels off and see what our actual pads look like. I believe the truck has a little over 60,000 miles on it now. Well, let's see if the keys are in it. See what we got. I know it's I know we're getting up there in miles. It's 2016. I believe the brakes have never been changed as far as I know. I am the second owner. Beep, beep, beep. Ooh, oh man, 67,000 miles. She's getting old. Nah, she's a good truck. Good running truck. So as far as, like I said, I know I got the truck when I had 27,000 miles on it, which would be very rare if they needed brakes and rotors by then. A lot of times your new vehicles do pretty well. So I'm going to guess that it didn't have fresh brakes and rotors on it. So I keep on saying brakes and rotors. Whatever, pads and rotors. So yeah, you know what I mean. I'm just waking up, but I wanted to make this video for you guys. But we're gonna really get at her now. So let's get our wheels off in the front, see what's happening up there, and then I don't know if I'm gonna do just the front and then do the rear, if I'm gonna take all the wheels off and then get at it. But we'll check it out. One of the things I'm gonna show you guys real quick is how to lose your socket, which is pretty much just toss it anywhere and then start talking randomly on the video. Oh, there it is. So if you get your lug stuck in your impact, a lot of people just go beat it on the ground, which is absolutely fine. Go ahead and beat it on the ground. Or you can just simply, you know, put a couple threads on her and they'll usually pull off. Obviously this one wasn't stuck, but that is the process and they'll come undone every time. So looks like we got a package. All right, had to go grab my package. All right, so the other thing you're gonna have, especially with some of these aluminum wheels and all that, whether you're on the side of the road, whatever, they tend to get sometimes stuck on here. So back wheels are stuck, and obviously you would do this with your spare tire if you haven't got, you know, all your other wheels off. But since we have our wheels off, some people hit it with the hammer. Maybe you don't have a sledgehammer. Maybe you don't want to be kicking the crap out of the thing. So usually what I'll do, if I can do this on camera, I'll just take my wheel and line it up, and then you pop it off just like that. Easy peasy, you know. You know, you got a nice heavy wheel, you know, by your side. Let that puppy do all the work. Why go kicking the crap out of your vehicle looking like some goon on the side of the road? Or heck, if you're in your garage, look at that. Great. And when you have to swing a sledgehammer at the darn thing, potentially miss the tire, hit your truck, or, you know, crack your fancy chrome plastic rim, you know. You guys know the deal, you know the deal. You know, that's how they do a lot of these new rims now, and you can take it as a good or a bad thing. I mean, the good part is if you end up curbing the crap out of your rims, I guess, then, you know, I guess you just go buy yourself a new hubcap. But yeah, they still aren't real chrome. So don't know how I quite feel about that stuff yet. I don't have a big issue with curbing or anything like that, especially you got yourself a good meaty tire, but it is what it is. So let's get at the action. Let's start breaking some of these rotors off. All right, listen to me now, okay? Listen to me. About to show you my undercarriage. She's dirty, all right? Even though we store this truck in the winter time, we use it in the summertime. So we actually haven't had a chance to clean underneath this thing yet, so she's a little filthy, okay? So just take that, all right? But we did have some squeaking in our rotors a couple years ago. We went to check our pads. The pads are still good. Just by the rotors got a little warped. You can see they got a little, you know, they're hurting a little bit. So actually, you know, they're definitely worn. But how much pad do we got left? See, look at that. I mean, if you guys can you see that? Yeah, there you go. I mean, we still got some pad left right there. That's pretty impressive. So, and our boat that we pulled doesn't even have trailer brakes on it. So, and that's a 20-footer. I mean, that's a unit. So, it's a good truck right here. You know, pretty good truck. Pretty happy with this thing. Still my upgrade to a 3/4 ton, but I'll tell you what, this 1/2 ton, she gets the job done. So, next thing we're gonna want to do, we're gonna get our right bolt sizes and all that good stuff. Get this darn caliper off. Man, those don't even look bad, but we're gonna replace them anyways if we got them. And see, we got some old safety clips on here. I wonder if they recommend us using those again. I don't see why we'd have to. I don't usually see that on your standard vehicles. Probably just a safety precaution. So we'll see what happens. Maybe old Napa will have a couple extras for us to slide on when we go get some brake clean. But let's get this tore apart so we're ready to go when we're ready to go. Well, one of the things I just realized that I always get crap about, and I'll continue to bring it up, but is my hammers. Now, I don't know what made me think of it, but I was just looking at this hammer, and now you're gonna see it too. But this is literally the mullet of all hammers. I mean, this is the hammer. Like, look at it. You got your business in the front, and you got your party in the back. This is the mullet of all hammers. Oh yeah, for sure. But what we got going on right now is we got our caliper off, their bracket and all that stuff, and now we got our rotor, which we need to give her a little love taps to get her off. I've never taken these off before personally. I'm assuming they're just gonna kind of work off, and I'll use the momentum of the rotor as soon as it breaks free to get them off. I could be wrong. If I have to do anything different, I will definitely tell you guys. The other thing was to make sure you have your nice setup here, a nice, you know, do a 5-gallon bucket or something else to make sure you can rest your rotor on. I've done the game. You put it on the, you know, your arm here, and it slides off, and then it's yanking on your brake, you know, and then your brake hose, and you're like, ooh, that was close. Like, I don't want that to break. And then you do it again. It's like, then, you know, you zip tie. You definitely do a zip tie too. So, but this is what we like to do. Make sure you take your pop your sensor off here. That's probably a speed sensor of some sort, I would assume. Just pop it off for a little precaution so it's not connected to that. This is a lot flimsier, and this has probably a better chance if that caliper were to fall to break off. So other than that, we're gonna pop our pads out, separate all this stuff, get our rotor off, and this side will be done. And then we're gonna go to the back side, show you guys what's up with that, and then we're gonna start installing new stuff. So I've come to the conclusion that these things here are stupid, because what's gonna happen? I mean, be going 90 miles an hour down the highway, my wheel's gonna shoot off, freaking gonna come to a grinding halt. The first thing I'm gonna do when I get out of my vehicle is like, whew, thank goodness my rotor stayed on. No! I don't give a shit about that clip. Ugh, maybe I get them off. So I assume this is gonna get messy. Probably doesn't have to be, but we're gonna make it messy. Alright, so what I did is I kind of spun them a little bit, because it seems like it does grab onto the threads slightly, but just not good enough just for it to weasel off. Oh, look at that. It does weasel its way off. Slowly, but surely. So I guess you could do that. And probably best for you to do that instead of the way I was about to do it, because I was going to say leave enough gap. You get your rotor broke free, and then you just give it a good yank and let the weight do the job. But you would probably scuff up your threads a little bit, so it probably is better to do it the nicer way, because you don't want to mess up those threads. So don't need to be adding on to the project. So that is the proper way. I guess as far as what I'm seeing is just pry them off just a little bit, and then just start screwing them, and they should back off almost like a bolt. So maybe some vice grips will help a little bit, maybe get around that, some pliers, you know, a little flathead action, but you'll get it. I chose it. Now, do they have to go back on? Google it. I don't see why they'd have to go back on. You got 5 lug nuts holding that thing on with a caliper and everything else. What's gonna happen? So I don't know. I'll look it up for you guys. Don't worry about it. I'll look it up, see what they say, but I'm sure it's nothing. What's up, everyone? So we actually called our dad to ask him about those clips and all that, because I just knew they couldn't be important. And yeah, so what he had said is that it's pretty much from a vehicle, you know, that comes from the factory. When they're, you know, making these vehicles, you know, the rotor probably gets slapped on, and they put those clips to hold the rotor on until the wheel's buttoned up. So that's your answer. So that's a factory, you know, when they're building them in the you know, in the shops or whatever, or the facilities. I mean, that's why they're on there. So you do not have to put those back on. Like I said, the only thing I'd recommend, just make sure you just don't go gouging your threads up to cause your lug nut, you know, to have a little bit harder time going on, so you don't mess anything up. But we did get our brake clean and all that stuff, so we are gonna grab our first rotor. Gonna double check. Usually, all I've always known is that you always brake clean your rotor to get the oil that's on it to come off. But because I've never owned Powerstop, I'm going to make sure that they don't say something different. I doubt it, but we're going to double check just in case. And yeah, we'll get this front side all done here. And yeah, we got to grease our pins and all that good stuff. So yeah, we're going to get at it. So another thing too is make sure you take your cap off as far as your master cylinder or whatever up there for your brakes. So when you actually go to push this in here, it doesn't, you know, burst the line, because you're trying to over pressurize the system as far as making it go back in. So we're gonna do that, and yeah, we're gonna get this thing looking good. Oh yeah. All right, so for everyone that's maybe not, you know, using Powerstop and all that, or maybe never clean their pins on their calipers, it's easy, you know, it really is. So you'll see them here, and you literally just pull them out, and the only thing that holds these in is that rubber, your little guy right here. So this is our new ones here that we got to replace. And usually when you buy your brakes at like Advanced Auto Parts or O'Reilly, something like that, you may not, you know, you'll probably get a package like this. You'll see them at the desk, something like that. They don't normally come with your brake pads. They might, but they're just brake lubricant. So obviously if it's not in your, you know, whatever, just ask the guy at the counter, say, hey, can I get some brake lubricant for my pins on my calipers? And they'll know exactly what you need to do. So all we're doing is wiping them clean. We put a little brake clean on our rag, and we're cleaning them. You know, if you want to overdo it, you absolutely can. If you feel like it needs it, you can obviously brake clean, you know, the crap out of the pins if you need to. Probably not necessary. There will be a little leftover grease in here, so don't feel like you have to like overdo it or anything like that. We just usually pull the pins out, clean them, re-grease them, slide it back in. So not a big deal. Like I said, it's also nice though, we actually got this you know, fresh seals to go with it. So we're gonna get this one here buttoned up. We tried cleaning the caliper up a little bit, but honestly, it was a pain in the butt. There's a lot of brake dust on there, and sandblasting would be your best bet. So we don't have a sandblaster here, we just have a parts cleaner, and it still wasn't touching as good as a sandblaster would. So no big deal. Yeah, so next thing we'll do is actually, we usually, the kind of I'll show you guys, but we usually use our old brake pad to actually push our dual pistons in, if that's the type of setup you have, because you want to try to push those in evenly. So that's probably what we're going to do next. What we're doing here, we got a little wire brush set up on our drill here. So you don't have to, but we did clean this up a little bit. Actually, first time I ever did this. But like I always tell you guys too, you're kicking up a bunch of rust, make sure you're not breathing that in. Put your mask on or something like that, or just don't huff it in, you'll be all right. So yeah, we got that, and to show you what we got our pads and our caliper, or as far as our caliper bracket, and that's what it should look like. So those tabs will be on the outside like that, and we're not putting in, the hardware's there. These are actually really good hardware too, because I mean, I almost thought I put them in wrong because they went in too easy, but everything's to spec and all that. They just works really good. But we're not going to put in our little safety indicator, because we don't need that where we're going. I don't need that hanging up for some reason, causing our brakes to squeal, causing any kind of interruptions. So we don't drive this vehicle enough to, we just kind of check on it when we rotate wheels. Not a big deal. So now we're going to clean our rotor with the, we're going to clean our rotor here with some brake clean, even though it's not really oiled up too much. And we're gonna get that slapped on, get this thing put back together, and then we're gonna go to the back. Alright, so we're about done with this side. We got a little anti-seize, which we're just gonna put a dash on all our lugs here, and also on our bolts for the caliper bracket, and sorry, for the actual caliper where the slides are, and then an actual main caliper bracket where the big ones. But just see here, you know, it's just literally a swipe. Don't overdo it. Doesn't need to be a lot. Just a little bit will go a long way. Tighten everything up, and you'll be good to go. I don't think it was 100% correct, but we were using a 13 mil, which actually was good on that. And then as far as, it seemed like standard actually fit a little bit better on the big ones, which was, oh, that's not right. edit that. Alright, so then for the big bolts, it'll actually be a 13/16 socket. So they're actually both probably standard. We just ended up with a 13 mil for the small one, which wasn't a big deal. But when you're using the bigger bolts and all that, put a lot more leverage. You definitely want to make sure that your socket is the correct size. So we're going to get this buttoned up and then move to the back. Alright, so we finally got everything together back here as far as set up. I'm just going to show you how everything is before I actually bolt it up. So this is what your brake pads should look like in there. Nice. Notice they had no, the front wasn't like that, and these were definitely way harder to get off these bolts. Forgot to tell you guys, I actually used a cheater pipe because I couldn't get the impact on there. So I don't know what that's about. They used blue Loctite in there. So I didn't think you Loctited them. But either way, you do what you do. I'm going to do what I do. As far as for our pins here, pushing them from the back side and then kind of putting one hand pushing it, other side pulling, and just don't be afraid, especially if you got new seals and all that. You know, you're not going to worry about, or new boots, you're not going to worry about, you know, ripping or anything like that. Not that we ripped ours. Just yank that sucker out. And then what we personally did when we went to go put it back in, we cleaned, you know, our pin and all that first. We put our fresh boot in without the pin into your sleeve or your bracket here or whatever, and then we greased the pin and pushed it in. And just make sure, I don't got any old pins here. Here's an old boot. So just make sure, focus, there we go. Make sure you get it as far as in the slot there on both sides, as far as in that groove. So when it slides back and forth, you're not exposing any of the pin to any type of grime or anything like that. So we got them all well and greased. We're still on the first pack too of grease. We haven't even got to the second one yet. But I'm pretty sure we're going to run out here. We're going to have to dip into the second pack. Not that it's a big deal. They're cheap. But I always forget to buy them at the parts store. So when I get stuff like this, I tend to like to try to, like, if I don't have to, not to overuse. So then I always got an extra little pack of grease here for the pins, just in case, you know, I forget for the next brake job. So not a big deal. Nothing to think about. We're good. Other than that, it's bolt together time. We're going to get this all bolt together. I'm going to show you the finished product as far as on this side. And then maybe I'll time lapse me doing the other side, but that's about it. You don't really need to see much more than that. And then we're going to take this thing for a test drive. Do some heavy braking. Alright, just a reminder to make sure you put your cap back on after you're done with the brake on your master brake cylinder. And then make sure you pump your brakes up a little bit. Shouldn't have to bleed, but, you know, just be careful. And make sure when you go to, you know, even put it in drive or, you know, put it in neutral, pump the brakes again. Make sure you have a firm brake pedal before actually taking off, because that could end up badly. So make sure you're in, you know, chalk the wheels, whatever you need to do. Just make sure you don't put it in drive, take off before you have a firm brake pedal. Should pump right up, should be good. Shouldn't have to bleed or anything like that. You can do it if you want as a precaution, but since there was no, you didn't break any lines loose or anything like that, you shouldn't have to. So yeah, here's the final product now. So came out real good. That was just from a little, she's sticking on there. A little microfiber. We kind of just wiped everything down just to make sure everything was good. Make sure there wasn't any residue. So they all came out good. As of right now, I'm 10 out of 10 as far as the installation. Like, everything was there, all the parts, just the right amount of grease for the pins. So yeah, everything went good. We already double checked everything, make sure it was tight. Good morning, everyone. Whew, only got a few hours sleep last night. Let's get this truck broken in. Alright, we pumped up our brakes. We're good to go. Just got out of storage, guys. That's why we're running on fumes. But we'll have enough to get to the gas station. Whew. Let's do this aggressive braking. Might be in front of these little birdies up here. says get up to 40 miles an hour. Should be perfect about right here. Car's gonna mess me up back here. All right, that was 2 aggressive stops. Yeah, I don't think they're asking you to put your foot down to the ground, blow all 4 tires off, or anything like that. So now this one's 35. Actually, I messed up. It said 40. I didn't have the paper with me. Now I'm thinking about it. It said 40 to 10. It didn't say a complete stop, so we'll try to. Honestly, this is just all it'd be nice if you did this. So the moderate stops will do that. Didn't have to come to a complete stop. Probably wasn't a good thing we maybe did. I don't know. We'll see. Our whole brake system's messed up. We'll know it was me. It's our 3rd one right here. I tell you, it feels good on the pedal. Downhill braking. Yeah, these are nice here. They feel good. Feel like a good quality brake. What was that, 4? Woo! Okay, love you that Hemi Fever tune. Alright. So now we're gonna drive for 5 minutes. Which will be enough for us to get back home. Man, we are running on E. If I wish I would have brought my wallet, I would have just drove to the gas station now. Guess we're gonna have to risk it for the biscuit. Alright. Alright everyone, that was we made it back. We made it home. Wish I wouldn't have done that as far as going 40 all the way down to a dead stop. Definitely make sure you do 40 to 10. That's my only recommendation there. Other than that, everything feels really good. Everything feels right. We're gonna double check, make sure everything's still tight, and we're loading our tires up in the back of the truck, and we're gonna get some fresh rubber, which will be for another tire review on those radar tires, Renegade radars. Renegade. I don't know. It's early. All right. Goodbye.